So you've got an amazing website, you're writing blog content, you're getting traffic to your site, but are you actually keeping them there? Are people staying and having a nosy around through your content and actually engaging with what you have on there? If you're interested in finding out how to keep people on your website or your blog for longer, this video is for you. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Anna. I am a designer and online educator at byrosanna.co.uk, and I share business, productivity, marketing, and website related content here on YouTube every week. So if you're interested in all of that stuff, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and give this video a thumbs up while you're there. So maybe you've already had a look at your website analytics and you're finding that people aren't really hanging around on your website for very long. Maybe your bounce rate is quite high, or maybe people just aren't looking at lots of pages when they come and visit your site. However, if you're not sure what's actually happening, I'd urge you to go and have a look around your Google Analytics, head into the behavior area, and that is where you can find things like your bounce rate, which is the percentage of people who leave straight away after landing on one page of your website, and also how many pages people are viewing per session on your website as well. Now, I've spoken about bounce rate in more detail before, but basically anything over about 70 to 75% is considered quite high, and that is when you really want to be thinking, how can I keep people on my website past just that first page without them bouncing off and leaving again. If your average pages per session are only like 1 or 2, that just means people aren't going through and reading more of your blog posts and visiting more of your pages, which obviously we want them to do if we want them to buy from us or become avid followers and engaged blog readers. And if people are only spending 1 or 2 seconds on each page, that just means the content on there isn't really gripping them very well. So what can we do to help all of this and keep people on our website for longer? The very first thing that I would suggest doing is taking a look at your customer's journey through your website. I have a blog post dedicated to this and mapping that out, and some tools that can help you as well, and I will link that below in the description. And once you understand this, you can use things like calls to actions and cleverly placed links and menus to help people guide themselves around the website. It's also important to keep your copywriting and your text formatting in mind as well. So with your copywriting, you really want to be using rhetoric and actually talking to the visitor when they're there. You can ask questions, you can use the word you a lot, try and grab people's attention by really speaking to their problems. But also the way that you format your text is important. So actually using headings and subheadings, bullet points, things like that to lay out your text in an interesting way that allows people to scan through it, so there's not just big blocks of text there that are really off-putting and overwhelming. You can help with this by creating a more dynamic layout by using different images, maybe collages, maybe videos, buttons, and other graphic and animated effects on your site too. Another thing to keep in mind is your page load speed, and again you can go and have a look at this within Google Analytics or the analytics of your website, and this number basically tells you how long it is taking for each of your pages to load. Now really you want it to be basically instantaneous, but if it's taking over a second, that is already too long. You need to be making your pages load quicker than this. One way you can help with this is by reducing the file size of any images that you're uploading to your website. And I've got a blog post all on that and how you can do that as well, which I will link to in the description. You also want to make sure that when people land on your website to start with, it's really welcoming and actually encourages them to scroll down and look for more information, and they're not being bombarded with things like pop-ups, ads, or other intrusions that are taking up space on their page, and it just all becomes a bit overwhelming with all the different things that they might want to do. It's really important to have a look at how your website looks on mobile as well, especially if you've got things like pop-ups or ads on there, because sometimes that can affect the usability. It can crowd up the entire screen so people can't even see the website underneath it. And then obviously if that happens, they're just going to be like, no, I'm out. And that will affect your bounce rate. My last 2 tips are to do with linking. It's really important that you include lots of internal links on all of your pages and blog posts on your website. And what this means is just using links around the page or on your blog post that link to other pages and blog posts on your own website. So if you're talking about something in a blog post that you've also mentioned before in a previous blog post or written about in more detail, include a link to that blog post within that blog post. And this is not only good for SEO, but it is also good for usability. So if people are reading about something and they want to learn more, they can go ahead and click on that link and find out more. And this keeps them on your website for longer. And if you're going to use external links, so any links that link to anywhere outside of your own website, so maybe another website or blog somewhere else, make sure you set these links to open in a new window so that when people click them, another tab in their browser opens up rather than them being taken to the website in that same tab and then they don't have access to your website anymore. They'd have to press back if they wanted to go back there, but that essentially loses them off your website. So those are my tips for keeping people on your website for longer. First of all, analyze where you're at already with your bounce rate, your page load speed, your pages per session, things like that. Then you want to map out your customer journey and take a look at your copywriting and also how your pages are structured in terms of their text and their content as well. Can you do anything to spruce it up and make it more engaging and interesting? You also want to be using lots of calls to actions, internal links, and making sure any external links open up in a new window. And of course, making sure that your pages are loading nice and quickly. I hope you found the tips in this video helpful. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up and go and check out the blog posts and resources that I have left in the video description if you want to learn more. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back again next week with another video.